breezy morning, Pluto trotted out of Mickey Mouse's cozy house, his tail wagging happily. The sun was shining, birds chirped in the trees, and everything seemed perfect. But just as he reached the gate, he noticed the postman cycling away, his big brown bag bouncing on the back of the bicycle. Pluto's keen eyes caught something unusual lying on the path, a crisp, white envelope. Curious, he sniffed it and gasped. The postman has dropped it. I must give it back to him before he goes too far. With determination gleaming in his eyes, Pluto was about to scoop up the envelope, when swoosh, a playful gust of wind swept it into the air like a mischievous spirit. The letter danced and flipped, teasing Pluto as it floated higher and farther down the path. "Grrru, won't get away from me," Pluto growled, leaping into action. He bounded after the letter, his paws skidding on the cobbled pathway. Finally, with a mighty jump, he caught the drifting white square between his teeth. But Pluto barely had time to celebrate his victory when a shadow loomed ahead. It was Bruno the bulldog, the neighborhood tough guy, blocking the way like a grumpy troll guarding a bridge. His sharp eyes immediately locked onto the letter in Pluto's mouth. "What have we got here, eh?" Bruno growled, his voice rough and gravelly. "A little delivery dog trying to play postman." Before Pluto could answer, Bruno lunged, grabbing the other corner of the envelope in his powerful jaws. The two dogs found themselves in an intense tug-of-war. Bruno growled ferociously, his muscles bulging, while Pluto held on with all his might. Poor Pluto, he was sure Bruno would win. The bulldog was so much stronger. His paws scrabbled against the ground as he struggled to hold on. Then, out of nowhere, a sweet voice called out, "Bruno, time for a lovely juicy bone." It was Bruno's owner, standing on the porch, waving a large, meaty treat. Bruno's ears pricked up, and his tail gave an involuntary wag. Without a second thought, he released the envelope. Humph! Pluto tumbled backward into a bush, but still held on to the letter. Meanwhile, Bruno trotted off, drooling over the thought of his tasty snack. "Phew," Pluto gasped. "That was lucky." Wasting no time, he clutched the envelope tightly and galloped up the hill after the postman, who was now just a speck in the distance as he ran. The gutters beside the road glimmered with muddy water from last night's rain. Pluto was so focused on his mission that he didn't notice the sleek sports car zooming toward him. Splash! The car sped past, sending a wave of muddy water flying into the air. Poor Pluto was drenched, and the once pristine envelope in his mouth was now soaked and smudged. "Oh no," he moaned, his heart sinking as he inspected the ruined letter. "If I don't catch the postman soon, this letter will be destroyed. Summoning all his energy, Pluto put on an extra burst of speed. His paws pounded the ground as he raced up the hill, his tongue lolling out and his heart hammering in his chest. Finally, he reached the top and was level with the postman, who was just about to pedal around the bend. "Hi there, old feller," the postman called cheerfully, glancing down at Pluto. "Out for a morning run?" Pluto sat back on his haunches, his chest heaving. He raised one muddy paw, trying to get the postman's attention, and waved it urgently. The envelope was still clamped between his teeth. The postman squinted and chuckled. "What's this now? Oh, you mean I dropped something, and you brought it back to me? Well, aren't you a clever dog?" He reached down and carefully took the soggy letter from Pluto's mouth. The ink had run from the muddy water, but the postman managed to make out the name on the envelope. His face lit up with surprise. "Well, I'll be. This letter is addressed to Mickey Mouse," he said with a laugh. "Looks like you went through a lot of trouble for this, Pluto. But you don't have to worry, I'll let Mickey know what a good boy you've been." Pluto's tail wagged weakly, but his legs were shaking from exhaustion. He let out a dramatic groan and flopped onto the grass. "All that 'tis for nothing," he muttered to himself. Then, as the postman patted his head and sent him trotting back toward home, Pluto sighed. "I wish someone would teach dogs how to read. It'd save me a lot of trouble next time." With that, Pluto headed back to Mickey's house, dreaming of a well-deserved nap hand, maybe a treat for all his hard work.